Hello guys, I am back with another feminine conversation. Guys, today I want to talk to you about feminine lifestyle 101. I want us to learn some of the things we do as women, oftentimes without knowing, that make us exhibit and exude more masculine energy than that of feminine. My last video I talked about being a feminist woman, that I identify and understand some of the struggles of feminist women. That video, if you recall, it wasn't to invalidate or to disrespect some of the values of feminist women. I believe no woman should be raped. I believe no woman should be genitally mutilated. I believe there should be equal job opportunities for men and women. I also believe that women should be educated and empowered. But if you recall, the reason I had that conversation as a foundation was because most women ran with the opposite of what the message says. And I still insist that as women, we should lead with our femininity. As women, we should always endeavor to make ourselves better. This video today is going to talk to you about some of the things we do as women that make us exhibit a lot of masculine energy that in the end comes to do a great disservice to us, because that's not who we want to be. So the first point is to watch your tone. Do not be loud. Guys, this is what most of us do without knowing. As a woman, you don't want to be loud. You don't want to electrify the whole environment with your voice. And you don't have to be loud to be heard. That's the reality. You don't want to have that masculinity in your tone when you speak. You speak with the aim of conveying a message. You don't need to be loud to make a point. And oftentimes, some of us equate clarity with being loud. That's not the case. As a feminine woman, you want to be soft while conveying your message. You want to communicate. You don't want to tell people what to do. You want to have conversation with people, So this is a very important thing to have in mind. Begin to make that conscious effort. Begin to put more thought into how you say what you say. When you talk and you scream and you're loud as a woman, you come across as masculine. So this is point number one, is to, again, be present. Be here, be now. Watch your body language. We bring a lot of things with ourselves as women, and even men sometimes. So when you enter a place, when you enter a house, an office, know that you are not just coming with your physical being. You're bringing in some air with you. You're coming in with some air, some aura. You have a presence. We are spiritual beings. So you want to wear that smile. You want to be calm and relaxed. You want to let go of everything that would make you present in a way that is not calm and alluring. Remember, we talked about having that aura, that feminine energy. We talked about having that allure, that thing that would attract people to you. Not necessarily beauty in this case, but something that would make people feel peaceful around you. You have to come with peace. Think about what aura you bring. Think about what body language you're giving out. Are you open-minded? How do you sit? Are you closed up as a woman? There are ways you can sit that will tell people, I don't want to be heard. I don't want anybody to speak to me. That's not the aura you want to send across. That's not the energy you want to send across. As a woman, you want to be open. You want to be relaxed. You want to maintain eye contact, not in an aggressive way, not stripping people with your eyes. Subtly, you make eye contact, you smile when it is appropriate, and then you open your mind, you open your posture. The next point is what most of us fail to do, and we don't realize how important that is. As a feminine woman, you want to listen. Very important. Communication is two ways, but more than ever, when you tell yourself that your objective now is to listen, you will say less and you will internalize more. So as a feminine woman, you want to listen to the other person speaking. It doesn't matter what they are talking about. It doesn't matter how irrelevant you think that conversation is or the points they are making. It is courteous. It shows respect for others when you listen to them. And this is what we do more than men. So as a woman, as a feminine woman, you have to cultivate that habit of listening. Pay attention when someone is speaking to you. And when you are in a conversation, in a group, you don't always want to be the first to bring in words, throw in words, interrupt every other person because you think you have better things to say. That again is masculine. You have to listen. People love when we listen to them. People talk to you when they know you can give them that time. Even if you can predict where that conversation is going, it is respectful again to pay attention to others when they speak. Hear them out. And listening also puts a lead on your own desire to say more. Remember, we get it wrong most of the times when we say more. When you're the person that always has something to say, 95% of the time you will get it wrong because you don't give yourself the time to process what you want to say. So listen more, get more information, add to what you have in mind so that when you eventually speak, you come up with a sound and intelligent contribution, and people will always want to have conversation with you because they don't go away with a headache, having been interrupted 5 times just within a line of conversation. This is very important. My number 4 point is something that again is very, very, very important. As a woman, you should tell yourself, no matter the situation, you would never be triggered to the point that you raise your voice, you scream, you shout, you fight publicly or even at home. Again, this is wrong. I know as human beings, most of the times we want to express ourselves, especially when we're laden by emotion. You want to talk, you want to say it as it is, you want to just open up and blow the roof off. You want to let them know you're not a doormat. You want to tell them, you know, you're right, you're educated, I have all these experiences, you know. Yes, momentarily, you may have scored a point. You may have felt that brief and temporal satisfaction that you gave it to them. But what does it say about you ultimately as a woman? You should never ever be triggered to the point that you're acting out of character. No matter how difficult it is, you will tell yourself it is not worth it. That thing, that behavior, that irresponsible behavior from that other person is not worth my integrity. It's not worth my losing it. No. What happens after the dust settles? You will be embarrassed. You will be totally ashamed, and you would have let a lot of people down, including yourself. So never let people get a reaction out of you. And this is what people do most of the times when they know you have that as a weakness. There are ways to have a negotiation, but when you watch and you see where it is going, you can always stop. You have that power. This is difficult. It is something I consciously remind myself every day on this feminine transformative journey. And I implore you to do the same. Because there are so many people, there are so many things that would push you to the very end of your limit. But you have to remind yourself who you are. You would never ever get to that level. The next point is we always itch to give an opinion. This is human nature. Everybody wants to be heard. Everybody wants to give an opinion. But the risk is that when you're always eager and keen to give an opinion, sometimes we get it wrong. As a matter of fact, most of the times we get it wrong. You don't want to give an opinion because you never understand where people are coming from. You never understand what people are dealing with privately. You never understand the whole pictures. Some of the times people tell us things they want us to hear without being 100% honest about the whole situation. You don't want to run to give an opinion. You want to stay neutral. It could be a conversation amongst friends. It could be just a general conversation. And there are some other conversations you should never even get into as a feminine woman. This is what I intend to do in another video. These are lines you don't cross. The moment you cross these lines by way of communication, you hurt people. You hurt people without knowing and without meaning to. Again, it is very important that we put some restraints around ourselves. You have to be conscious, you have to be mindful, which is why I said we need to live in the present. Whenever we move, wherever we are, whatever we do, we have to be calculated, we have to be strategic as women. What am I doing? What am I saying? What is the use? The opinion you should be giving to others, to people, to families around you are things that are positive, things that would make them better, things that would inspire others. You want to be nurturing. You want to be the one to encourage others. You don't want to give negative feedback. No, there are positive ways of encouraging people to do even better. Because the reality is everybody has their own shortcomings, including yourself. So when you pay more attention to what is positive, what is good in people, you give positive feedback when you have to. You have this attraction. People are naturally endeared to you because everybody wants to be encouraged. Everyone wants to be loved. These are things we crave for naturally. But if you must give your opinion, be neutral and be sure to build rather than give a negative opinion that will cause another person pain. The next point is to be modest. It's important that we, again, pay attention to some of the things we say and some of the things we convey. You have to be modest. Modesty applies in dressing, modesty in the words we use, modesty in how we treat others. If you remember our definition about femininity, it talks about things done in moderation, kindness, goodness to others, empathy. And when you are modest, you don't overdo things. You are not too loud. You are not overcritical when you want to give your opinion. You are not extreme when you behave. Modesty is very important, and modesty will make you classier. Modesty will make you more feminine. Modesty will make you more attractive as a woman. You don't put everything out there just because you feel you have them. No. As a woman, you keep some things to people's imagination. That's how we do it. So think modesty as a feminine woman. My next point is to be patient. This sounds cliche, but it is not very easy. It is, again, something we need to cultivate the habit to do. We need to be patient. We need to learn to be patient. Your patience will be tested in so many ways as a woman. You will be tested in your home. You will be tested at your workplace. You will be tested in the shop, on your queue to buy your petrol. People will always make you upset. That is the reality. And again, back to the way we are created as humans. When we get excited, be it by fear, by anger, whatever the emotion, anxiety, we tend to give out a reaction. But when you remember that as a feminine woman, you have to be patient. It always goes away. Personally, I've seen myself in a very difficult situation, very difficult, that I went to where I said to myself, what do I do? How do I deal with this situation? How on earth did I end up with this situation? When will this be over? You know what? It always comes to an end. Every problem has an expiry date. Tell yourself this as a feminine woman. Be patient. And while you're patient, think about options. Think about techniques, skills, things you can do to distract yourself or even occupy your mind at that time. That way you don't get focused, you don't fixate. I talked about the next point, be kind to others, show empathy. Again, this comes back to our core being as women. We are created to nurture, and you don't just nurture your family, you don't just nurture your children, you're kind to other people's children, you're kind to people around you. You know, you make allowances for others. When you see people they are misbehaving, just excuse them unconsciously. Don't always assume that the world is against you. I'm gonna talk more about the feminine mindsets, things we should begin to do with our mind, because at the end of the day it starts from the mind. But for now, let us be patient and show empathy. My next point is to be kind to yourself. Most of the times we don't do this, girls. We don't do this. We're not patient with ourselves. We're not kind to ourselves. We want it and we want it now. We think our goals, both short and long-term goals, are not met, and we get agitated. We put pressure on ourselves. We want to marry and we want to marry now. We want to have our kids. Oh, my mates are doing X, Y, Z. Guys, you're doing a lot. Forget about your mates. Forget about every other person. It is all about you. You are not in the hospital. You are not dead. You are alive and well. And who says it's late for you? Who says it's late for anyone that is alive? So think about yourself. Be kind to yourself and go easy on yourself. Next point, which is to be grateful. As a feminine woman, even just being alive in this day and age, years back, our mothers, our grandmothers, they didn't have the opportunity we have today. People get on YouTube, they share their life experiences, they tell their life stories. You learn from people's mistakes. I think it's a good time to be alive. Think about people struggling for oxygen in the hospitals. Think about people who are dying due to one underlying medical condition or the other. Guys, we have a lot to be thankful for. You get up in the morning, you have a job to attend to, you have family, you have people around you that show you love and care. You have good friends you can call and rely on. Occasionally, we need to be grateful. And there is something about a grateful person. There is something about being grateful. It just has a way of opening the floodgates of blessings in your life. When you're grateful, you activate more blessings in your life. When you're grateful, the whole universe works in your favor. You're saying, I am thankful for what I have. I am ready to receive more. And you always do. So guys, as feminine women in particular, and finally guys, I want to end with smile. How often do you smile? Yes. When you smile, you automatically switch your mood. It's called pivoting. When you smile, you're saying, I am happy. I have a friend who, whenever I talk to him about something bothering me, he will say, just smile. Uche, just relax, smile. Pretend everything is okay. Let's fake it until we make it. So let's make that conscious step. Just put a smile on your face. Just smile. This is a journey. It's not going to happen overnight. It can be frustrating. You can get it wrong occasionally, but that is all okay. What matters is the destination. We are all in it together. Thank you once again for your time. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. And until then, stay blessed. Bye now.